start fresh now.
Hey everyone!
Hi,
Welcome to Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome to our monthly modality messages.
Yes, and I control the vertical, but not the horizontal.
I don't control anything, apparently.
All right, do we want our thought for the day before we get started? Or let's explain the modalities once again. It is a very unique reading because
It is.
it's really different for each sign associated with each modality. It's not the standard, well, water signs are this or fire signs are that. This one's kind of unique. Right, Banshee?
Oh, are you throwing it at me now?
That's what I'm good at.
It is kind of unique. Mr. O had this great idea previously to run with doing something different, maybe doing things by readings for the collective by modality. And so I took it upon myself to devise 3 readings for the 3 modalities that encompasses a little bit of the energies of every sign in that modality into the reading.
Because
Now, if only we could tape that so I could say it the same way twice.
Well, and that's because basically all that she said, I'm just the idea person. She's got to figure out how to do it. So
Yeah,
we're grateful
thanks,
for
Mr.
that.
O.
We're grateful for that because it is a pretty darn good reading. So let's get started right away. We go through the modalities.
But I need to correct you on another thing. I'm so
Yes.
sorry. Do we do a word of the day for the modalities? Because I don't remember doing that.
I think we do a collective thought.
No.
Oh, okay. Then we don't do this?
We go right to it.
We go right to it.
You know, but that is something we might add in the future. You never know. We like to change things up, so that
Well,
might be
if you
coming.
see one when you're watching this, it's because we added it in later.
He's no doubt going to check if I'm right or wrong on this, I'm sure. All right, Mr. O.
So we're on our first modality, which are the cardinal signs. And cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And the cardinal modality is basically about how things, processes, situations, relationships, whatever, start.
Well, and each modality has a sign from one of the elemental groups. So air, fire, water, and earth are all represented in each modality. So,
Well, if you think you're different from a fire sign because you're a water sign, yes, generally yes. But your modality may determine that certain things about your personality are similar to those other signs that are within your modality. So cardinal is first, and as I said, cardinal signs tend to be the planners or the initial push of an energy or of a situation.
so Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, this first one's for you. And I'm going to let Mr. O finally shuffle the cards. Here you go.
Mr. O did not get a haircut.
Neither did Ms. B.
Well, but it may look like I've had one because my hair is kind of pulled behind and my beret's down.
He's got a ponytail.
Why the long face, Obi? My face is kind of long, actually.
I have a round one, as we know.
It's round and
Pumpkin-like.
pumpkin-like. You stole the words from my mouth.
All right. So, hey, Aries fire. Basically, this is the first card, which represents the Aries fire influence in the reading, but it's for everybody of the cardinal signs. Card 1 is, what changes will you initiate this month? Because of course, Aries is the initiators in the zodiac. So it's the Ace of Wands reversed, unfortunately, though. So what are you initiating? It seems to me that's something that's not going to work out.
Well, or maybe you're just on a slower track to working with that. Maybe you're kind of going at a slower pace here. Maybe you're also still looking for where the creative juices are coming from. They're not quite realized for you.
Yeah, it also could be that you want to start something, but something causes a delay to occur. You don't have all the things you need to put your plan in place. So it's a little disappointing.
Some of this
say.
may be actually relating to some sort of networking or some sort of enterprise that you're in. It may not necessarily be like a job. It could be about relationships or interactions within relationships, but it's basically connections with people and stuff.
But I do want you to consider, since this question was what changes will you initiate, I mean, it is possible, looking at an Ace of Wands reverse, to just say, maybe not much.
Right. Like I more or less indicated, just basically taking the slower path towards that, or considering that it's not exactly the best time to start.
Well, card 2. Card 2 is following card 1, and it's Cancer Water. How will you nurture and cultivate your goals, desires, or relationships? And we have the King of Cups reversed. Again, well, how will you nurture them? I don't know. You know, I almost feel like you're going to be a little needy yourself this month, that instead of being somebody who can, you know, support someone else, you might be needy. Or, on the other hand, maybe you actually will try to support some people around you who are having an emotional rough time of it.
Well, another idea that occurs to me is that maybe you are going to project vulnerability and or your own sense of neediness as a way of making others feel comfortable and nurturing some of that kind of stuff to happen by maybe projecting the idea that you are looking to cultivate emotional responses with people. This is how you end up sharing that way.
Card 3 is how can you gain cooperation or support from others? It's the Libra air card. Wow. And it's the Ten of Swords reversed. Well, I think, you know, you will get them to cooperate with you if... Oh, go ahead.
By not stabbing them in the back.
Wow. That element is there for sure in that card. What I would suggest, since it's reversed, and that could be one of them, is by showing them that, you know, you can pick yourself up when you're down. You know, that you're not going to let little setbacks and pettiness hold you back, that you can stand on your own 2 feet, because when you can show that, people are more willing to help you.
This card is really about a dramatic reversal of a dire fate. So for you, Modality, Cardinal, this next 30 days or so, 28 days, really is about you kind of doing that sense there to gain this workability here. Is you have to be willing to show you can, you know, reverse this fate. You have the energy to either reverse it or to not show how it affects you. It's really about maybe trying to reposition yourself after such a bad thing has happened.
Yeah. Card 4, Capricorn Earth. How can my talents and resources best be put to use? And it's a Capricorn card. It's the Devil reversed.
Well, I guess this is a clear sign that maybe you have to really work on what your bad habits are. You have to work on all the things that you look at that you say are really temptations that pull you somewhere else. You have to look at the kind of things that maybe emotionally or otherwise make you codependent within your relationships.
How can you use your talents and resources best? Put it to use this month is by basically taking those best parts of you and using them to help you overcome your difficulties. You know, if you're an artist, immerse yourself in your work. If you're a writer, immerse yourself in your work. If you are, you know, use something that makes you strong to defeat the parts of you that are weak right now. And you'll feel a sense of liberation when you create something, you know, beautiful.
Well, I'm not trying to imply that those are your talents, but that basically your talents will help release you from these
Sure.
obsessions.
These demons.
Right. All right.
Yeah. Well, do we want to wrap? It's a tough...
Yeah, let's go through this
I
again.
don't know. This was kind of a tough haul reading for you guys. Things are not going to happen fast this month. We've got the Ace of Wands reversed. So any changes that you are hoping to initiate may take a back burner for whatever reasons. It may be the fact that, too, how you nurture and cultivate your goals, desires, or relationships is that, you need to get a handle on your emotions, or on the other hand, help others get a handle on theirs in order to accomplish
and
something.
I thought that could be because you project some of your vulnerability in a comforting way that makes people see that and understand you're just trying to relate.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So then with the Ten of Swords reversed, well, I think you have to be ready to explain, to show that sometimes the end is not all, and that sometimes you can go to that bottom of the barrel, or you can go to where the darkest place of where somebody was really against you, and find a way to put that behind you, to rise from that dire fate that you may have perceived. And that's really what you can support with others, is that it's really that.
Yeah, you can gain cooperation from others by showing that, you can stand up again. You can rise up after, major defeat or challenges. And then the final card, using your talents and resources, I would say try to use, your talents and abilities to liberate yourself from, kind of a negative state of mind, or a state of mind where you're allowing your obsessions or your bad habits control you.
And of course, because it is this card, the Devil reversed, it could be saying, don't be channeling your most earthy aspects. Really try to liberate yourself. That's how you can best utilize what you got.
And that's what we have for the cardinal signs this time around. We're moving on to the fixed.
And fixed signs are Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. Fixed signs, unlike the cardinal signs, they tend to hold the energy. Maybe they help focus it. They're not big on the change of it, even though Scorpio or possibly some of the other signs have change kind of elements going on in that part of themselves. But the idea of being fixed is really saying, like, we're looking at this, we're holding the energy in, we have kind of determined a way of keeping what was started going along.
You are the stabilizers of the zodiac.
That's a really good way to put it, Banshee. Thank you. And this reading is good for the next 28 days or so.
We didn't say that in the beginning, I guess. We forgot.
Till we move into the next sun sign, which will be Libra. And that happens right around the fall equinox. So, I don't know, maybe we'll have a little fall equinox celebration too when we do this. Light a candle. Did we get droopy again?
We have a droopy mic
KC,
situation.
Kelly, if you're watching this, no comments.
Sigh. Story of our lives here. All right. Did you cut?
Oh, why, of course.
You cut last time. Maybe I'll do the last. We'll let you shuffle first. Okay, Leos, you are the first, well, I should say, fixed signs. You are up. So card 1, Leo Fire, is what are the qualities you need to display in order to make a positive impression on others? And look at that. It's interesting with the fire signs where we had that ton of how you can get cooperation from others, a ton of swords reversed, which is kind of on the negative. This one, the qualities you need to display in order to make a positive impression on others, is to say you've got it all. You've got everything you desire. You are in a good, solid place.
You should project yourself as the luckiest person ever, the person who is also magnanimous, whose near presence possibly shines some of that luck towards your friends. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool. And card number 2 is Scorpio Water. Can I feel safe sharing my passions or desires with others? It's almost like a yes-no. I would say it's a yes, Mr. O. We've got the Star.
The Star is a card of inspiration and hope, and so this would be saying,
it goes right with that in a
yeah,
way.
it does in a way. Look at that. Andromeda is a star, of course.
Right.
Well, it's a constellation.
Constellation of stars.
But what I believe this is saying is that
share your enthusiasm. Share your passion. Share your enthusiasm. I think your passions and desires and what you are aiming towards this month will really inspire people.
I would say that if you're saying, how can I share that, or
can I feel safe?
Can you feel
that?
The answer is yes, of course, because the thing is that what you have is a lot of inspiration. You have a lot of hopefulness. It's everything that Banshee just said. So really, it's really like the answer is obviously yes. This is one of those pinnacle cards. It really projects the idea that there's powerful forces working around you.
Aquarius Air. What role will my connections or the connections I make with family, associates, and intimate partners play in this cycle? And it's another 9, but it's the 9 of Swords upright. And so, what role will your connections, I think maybe it's helping, maybe it's utilizing all this positive energy to help them out of a difficult period. Maybe they need to be inspired by someone right now. Maybe they need to be encouraged because it seems to me that they're going to be a little bit on down.
It looks like if this is really the external, it's talking about the people that you are connected to and what those relationships are. That's what it is saying, is the 9 of Swords, is that there is somebody in this next month who will need you and who will feel some emotional bereftness. It may not be like they're feeling really physical pain, but they're feeling a level of emotional pain. And your ability to take your positive attitude and inspiration ideas and the idea that you project luck will really be helpful if you choose to share that with these people, share that with your connections. They're looking for that, and maybe they have a little bit of something to share with you too.
And you know what, Mr. O? Just like in keeping with the fixed signs, we have a real balancing of energy here. We've got all this positivity and enthusiasm balanced by, sometimes the real world issues that can bring us down a bit, So it's kind of interesting. But let's see what that final card is. This is the Taurus Earth influence. And how will I be able to achieve a balance between work and pleasure? This showed up before.
Burying your head in the sand? No.
It's the Ace of Wands. There's no burying your head in the sand here. So basically, achieving a balance is by,
emulating a really powerful direct energy, energizing people with your ability to start up and go forward.
So the balance between work and pleasure. I'm thinking that it's like, if you're going to initiate something that's taking away a lot of your time and energy at work, then maybe it's a time to initiate something that will give you great pleasure and relaxation in your personal life so that you have that work-life balance.
So it could be about starting new activities maybe that bring a sense of play, whether it's mental play games or maybe it's something physical.
I think it's physical because of the wand.
This is really quite interesting for me because just in the last day or so I said, I miss going to the gym. I miss being more active. I've retired. I'm not walking up and down steps like I normally do. I need to find something to do. Well, it's not the same as walking up the steps of a 100,000 foot square building.
No, it's not.
But that's gone now. So I need to do something. And I was thinking maybe I could find an outside gymnasium. I passed by a friend's house.
Nature is the outside gymnasium,
Well,
Mr.
it's true.
O.
But I need to do more than just walking or running. I need to have,
true.
Things to pick up and lift. Anyways, I just think that's a great idea that maybe what that balance is finding that, as we often used to say, all work and no play.
Well, and the thing is, the Ace of Wands seems like a real work and initiating projects kind of card. But there's more to it than that. And I do think that physical activity you mentioned could be part of it. Let's recap a little bit here. So let's take a look at this. So Leo fire was what the qualities you needed to display were in order to impress others. And we had the Nine of Cups, which means just show how lucky you are, you said, right?
Right.
I think I'll go with that.
Project luck, and it will probably shine well on others too. Why not?
Yeah, it will inspire others. And speaking of inspiration, what can you share with others? Can you safely share your passions or desires with others? The answer is a resounding yes. Go forth with enthusiasm, and you will give people hope. And you're possibly going to give people hope at a time when they need it most, because this is what role will your connections or the connections you make play in this cycle. So you might be feeling really good if you're able to boost somebody's spirits and make them feel better about things.
I think this card really says, look around you. There is probably somebody who should be reached out to, or maybe is trying to reach out to you and you just haven't noticed that yet.
And to achieve a balance between work and pleasure.
And I think it means starting some new activity. And it could be something that maybe is a balance because it involves some physical things, but maybe it involves some mental things too. So, find a way to exercise more, find a way to also exercise your mind more.
Well, if you're initiating, here's another thing I'll just add to that because it popped into the old brain. If you're initiating a new project or a new goal or a new dream, make sure that you add an element of pleasure to it. Make sure that it's just not all hard work. You really enjoy what you're doing, that you're really getting pleasure out of what you're doing.
Alrighty then.
And that's it.
So that's it for our fixed signs.
We're on to the mutables. The mutables are just that. Mutable.
Changeable.
They can go with the flow.
But they also may represent a force in changing things for the next cycle.
That's right. And so the mutable signs are Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. This is for you.
And those, yes, I can clearly see them all as a mutable type sign. Even sometimes if changes are just not necessarily changes that I might think, they are still changes. They just may be changes in a direction that I hadn't considered, or one that I thought we were done with, but maybe we have cycled back.
All right.
Because everything old is new again, or so the saying goes.
So the story goes. I think that's from a song.
So the story goes.
Owner
Owner
of
of
a
a lonely heart. Gina
I can't
Merwin,
sing.
this one's for you.
I can't sing. Owner of a lonely heart. Yes.
Much better than the owner of a broken heart.
You can't either. But he's braver than me. All right. Or sillier, as the case may be.
Silly.
All right.
So, our first card in the mutable.
Is the fire influence, Sagittarius. How will you need to shift your perspective during this cycle? We have the Two of Pentacles. That is so mutable.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Do you want to explain why?
Well, it's just like trying to maintain that balance. So how will you need to shift your perspective? You will have to shift your perspective
A lot.
as needed, right?
Yeah, and this really, a lot of times you look at the card in some decks and it looks like, oh my God, he's juggling. Oh, it's so hard. Look at that. But really, it is about, the ability to do that. I mean, we do a lot of things that we're not necessarily totally pleased about, but if we do them with skill, it basically does help us. And so learning how to balance things, the physical things with the imphysical things of our lives is important.
How are others' emotions affecting you? And that is the Pisces water element.
And we have the Six of Swords, and I want to start on this one because
yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
what this is saying is that a lot of times the emotionality that's around us, and for this next month, I guess, in particular, really represents the idea that we want to get away from it. And I don't know about you, but I've never been on so much social media where so many people would say, I'm checking out for a while, I'm leaving such and such platform for a while, I just need to get away from the negativity, I don't want any talk about blah, blah, blah on my site anymore. These are all things that are saying people really need to give each other space, and that's what I think the mutable signs are encountering here. And it's so appropriate for a Pisces position.
Yeah, in a way.
It's not saying this is Pisces.
Pisces
in general,
are kind of isolating, and this isn't necessarily a card of isolation, but it is a card of moving away and moving on to better, things that fit you better, things that feel better, things that uplift you as opposed to have held you back.
Things that take you away from what you
Pain
don't
and
like
sorrow.
feeling. Yeah.
Right. And
so
stress.
Our third card is the Gemini air position. What do we need to know or find out to better position ourselves for success? And we have the Nine
and that's
of Cups.
reversed this time.
And I'm just going to say that maybe sometimes we have to accept the fact that either we're not lucky, we're not with the cycle, and or we have to consider that maybe what we thought might have been an advantage, material or otherwise, wasn't really. And maybe that's going to happen this month, that we're going to feel like something we thought we were really waiting to happen, it doesn't bring us the joy or the pleasure we thought.
Yeah. I was just going to say that basically what you need to know to better position yourself for success is the fact that sometimes we have to realize that what we've wished for and what we've desired, once we've achieved it, it's not really for us. We just have to accept the fact that sometimes you work on things and you're hoping for a certain outcome, and that outcome comes, but it really does not fulfill your desires.
All that glitters is not gold.
Okay, so what kind of adjustments will you need to make this month in order to be more effective and achieve that success?
And that's the Virgo Earth position. And we have an Earth card, the Ten of Pentacles.
And it's upright.
Yes.
And that's very interesting. So, because it's kind of an anathema to the Nine of Cups in a way. So I guess basically what it is saying is that, you have to adjust your focus to where you can achieve that success, or what really does fulfill you. Because obviously your dreams were not correct, but there's something out there for you.
Well, given the position of this, what this card does mean too, that I think it could also be saying what you're adjusting is where you saw the foundations that are normally with you, family connection, or a connection of support behind you, friends, other kinds of family. You may have to think about where that role was.
Well, you know what? It also might mean that maybe you do have to connect with family or your roots, to achieve some success. Maybe you have to go back and explore your family tree. Seriously, because it may give you some answers to what you seek.
So let's wrap that up.
Let's try.
Alrighty.
I'll let you go first.
Okay, so card one, the Sagittarius card, how do we shift our perspective during this cycle? What will we want to? And it was the Two of Pentacles, and it's saying, you need to consider being very flexible, because there's just going to be a lot of things going on in this month, and you need to be able to be flexible.
Flexibility is going to be just the name of the game.
So card two, the Pisces connection, how are others' emotions affecting me? And this is saying that you should be prepared to feel like you will need to take
Pull
some
away
distance,
from them.
move away. You can always say, hey, ciao for a month or so. It's like what I mentioned. Some people are just saying the social media thing is really intense right now. Maybe it's time to just chill.
Well, and maybe it's like what you said, but maybe it's just like, pull away from the things that are not uplifting you.
Card three is our Gemini air position. What do we need to find out to better position ourselves for success?
And that's like anti-success in a way.
Right. Well, maybe of accepting, and I think we both nailed this in a way, that sometimes all that glitters is not gold. Sometimes the things we get that we thought we really wanted don't bring us the joy. So understanding that is a key to maybe saying, next time I'll do better.
And maybe card 4 is saying after that, you need to connect back with your roots and your family tree and get some strength and comfort from there, if nothing else, if not an answer to success. But I have a feeling success lies in your family connections in some way. Maybe there's some material support if you need it.
I want you to look a little bit at the image there, and
Yeah.
it looks like a baby in utero, and I would have to say this is the ultimate explanation of support. You know, a mother supports a child for 9 months, and everyone around her is or should be helping that support. So I think that's what it's really about too, is the idea that we have to be willing to be patient and look at the future that's growing.
The seeds are underground, and then one takes root and starts off.
Oh, it's kind of chilling in a way, isn't it?
It is. I love that image. It's a beautiful deck of cards, and if we did not say what it was, it's the Celestial Tarot by Kay Steventon and Brian Clark. It's very, very beautiful deck. All right. Well, I think we're done, Mr.
That's
O.
it for another monthly modality message brought to you by Oberon and Banshee for TFT Tarot for today. Divine Dabblings with Oberon.
And me, Banshee.
So we hope your month is great, and we hope you check out some of our other content, and we'll see you next month.
Have a good month. Take care, everybody.